You didn't find this message by accident. There's a quiet reason your attention stopped here. Maybe you've been carrying a question in your heart. One about love, about connection, about that strange and magnetic pull toward someone, or even the silence that followed after they left. There's something inside you that's looking for understanding, not just about love, but about truth, about why certain people feel like home from the very first glance, about why some relationships tear you down while others ignite your spirit. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Most people move through life confusing attraction for alignment, chemistry for compatibility, but deep down, your soul knows. When someone is truly meant for you, the knowing doesn't come from your mind. It comes from somewhere else entirely. Something ancient, something familiar. It's not obsession. It's not chasing. It's not about proving your worth. It's not about loud declarations or constant drama. When someone is truly meant for you, there is peace. There is a calm recognition. You're not completing each other. You're remembering each other. Sometimes the person who's meant for you won't arrive when you're longing for love, but when you're becoming love, when you've emptied out all the stories that told you that you weren't enough, when you finally stopped looking outward for validation and started honoring your own essence, because the person meant for you won't awaken your wounds. They'll hold space for your healing. They won't trigger your abandonment. They'll remind you of presence. They won't run when it gets deep. They'll lean in. Not because it's perfect, but because it's real. That connection doesn't scream. It doesn't demand. It doesn't try to fix or force. It recognizes, and it flows. It shows up in the most unexpected places, and yet it feels like something you've been waiting your whole life for. And maybe you've felt this before. Maybe you crossed paths with someone who felt like a mirror, like they knew you before you ever spoke, and maybe you lost them, or maybe they weren't ready, or maybe you weren't. Here's what they don't tell you. Timing is everything. You can meet the right soul at the wrong moment, and all that divine potential turns into confusion, pain, silence. That's not because they weren't real. It's because alignment has to happen inside both of you, not just emotionally, but spiritually. So many are chasing soulmates without healing the soul. They want someone who feels like magic, but they've buried their own. And until you awaken to your own soul, until you clear the patterns, the projections, the pain, you won't be able to recognize someone who's truly meant for you. Carl Jung believed that the soul contains within it both the divine masculine and divine feminine, and our relationships are often attempts to seek what's missing within ourselves. That's why we're drawn to those who carry what we've repressed. It's not always love. Sometimes it's just longing for our own forgotten wholeness. But when two people who've done the inner work meet, when two souls that remember themselves find each other, there's a different energy. There's no rush. There's no panic. There's no fear of loss. Because the soul isn't in a hurry. It's in truth. And that's why when someone is meant for you, you just know. Not from fear, not from fantasy, but from a place so deep inside you that it defies logic. And no, it doesn't always mean they'll come at the time you want. Sometimes they arrive after heartbreak. Sometimes they return after time apart. And sometimes you'll find them waiting for you once you've finally chosen yourself. You'll know them by how your nervous system responds. You'll feel safe in their presence. You'll know it in the silence between conversations. You'll know it in the way your laughter sounds around them. Free, unguarded, real. They'll challenge you, yes, but they won't shame you. They'll mirror your depth, not exploit it. They'll see your scars, not as flaws, but as the places light entered you. You won't have to convince them to stay. They'll know they're home. But here's something else to hold close. Sometimes, the person meant for you is not the one you imagined. They might not arrive in the package your ego designed. They might not come through the doors you were knocking on. That's because the soul doesn't follow blueprints. It follows alignment. You were never meant to beg for love. You were meant to radiate it. And the person who's meant for you will be drawn not to your appearance or your achievements, but to your presence. The real you. The whole you. If this message has stirred something in you, a memory, a knowing, a longing, it's not just about romance. It's about your readiness. And here's something else the soul knows. Even when you've tried to move on, even when logic told you to forget, even when friends said, just let them go, the memory, the energy, the imprint remains. You can feel their absence like a whisper in your bones, not out of neediness, but because something wasn't finished. Something sacred still lingers. The soul doesn't forget what it recognizes. Carl Jung taught that we are all mirrors of one another, and that people don't just randomly walk into our lives. They are messengers, reflections, sometimes even guides. Especially those who shake us, stir us, or awaken feelings we've never known. And maybe this is the part no one warned you about. Real soul connections will break you open. They'll confront you with your deepest wounds, not to hurt you, but to bring them to the surface so they can finally heal. That's why these relationships are not always calm at first. They are not here to entertain the ego. They are here to awaken the soul. You see, most of the world is stuck chasing surface-level connections, the kind that make you feel good for a moment, but disappear when it gets real. But you're not like most of the world. You wouldn't still be listening if you were. You've probably always felt a little different, a little deeper, a little more in tune with something you can't explain. You've seen signs, you've had dreams, maybe even spiritual encounters that left you questioning what this world is really about. And that's because you are not just here to fall in love, you're here to experience union, a sacred union, a divine partnership rooted in purpose, not just pleasure, growth, not just comfort, the kind of relationship where you build something eternal, not just a home or a life, but a legacy of light, where your love becomes a prayer, where every conversation opens a portal, where your presence together becomes a healing field for others. But to walk into that kind of relationship, you have to first become the kind of person who can hold it. You must soften without breaking, love without losing yourself, trust the timing, even when your heart aches, because divine love requires divine preparation. And here's a truth most people aren't ready to hear. Sometimes your soulmate won't come until you've stopped trying to earn love and started becoming it. That's when everything shifts, because the universe won't waste what you're not ready to receive. If you're still acting from wounds, you'll attract more wounds. If you're still performing for love, you'll find people who want a performance. But when you begin to rest in your wholeness, when you stop chasing and start attracting, that's when your mirror appears. That's when the universe whispers, now they're ready. And sometimes, that person was in your life all along, and you just needed time to grow into the version of you that could meet them soul to soul, not trauma to trauma. This is why we must not rush the process. Don't be disheartened if it hasn't happened yet. Divine unions are often the last thing to arrive, not because you're being punished, but because they are too powerful to be misused. The wait is not a delay, it's a sacred preparation. And when it does come, oh, how effortless it will feel. No guessing, no confusion, no second guessing yourself. You'll feel like you've known them forever, because you have. Across lifetimes, across dimensions, across soul contracts you don't even remember signing. There will be synchronicities, repeating numbers, dreams, signs. You'll both feel it, and you'll both surrender, not because you're weak, but because love this deep humbles you. It silences your pride, it melts your defenses, it teaches you to receive, and that is what makes it rare. So if you're still healing from someone you thought was the one, know this. Some soulmates come to awaken, not stay. They were never meant to be your forever. They were meant to be your catalyst. Their purpose was to open the door, not walk through it with you. But don't worry. The one who walks through the door is still coming. They're walking toward you as you listen to this. And here's the secret. You don't need to find them. You need only find yourself. You are the magnet. You are the frequency. You are the light that will draw in what is aligned. The more you embody your truth, the clearer your signal becomes. And the clearer your signal, the faster your reflection arrives. So if you've been waiting, yearning, aching for someone to see you, Start seeing yourself. Love the parts of you that you thought no one could handle. Dance with your shadows. Speak to your soul like it's sacred, because it is. And the one who's meant for you, they will recognize that. They'll say, "There you are. I've been looking for you." Not the version you pretended to be, not the one you created to feel accepted, but the real you. The raw, radiant, untamed soul you've been hiding.